Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, and MU. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like these videos, go to my website, sign up, they're free, or click down here in the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Traders, if you're looking for a new broker, check out venomtrading.com/promo/StockBookie. Best in the business. Been using these guys for years. If you're looking for a new broker, check out venomtrading.com. You won't be disappointed. And don't forget to tell them StockBookie sent you. All right, daily chart. Nvidia, $7.13 red today, 3.22% down on the day. 16 million, 16.5. Volume was okay. It wasn't terrible. I mean, I'd expect more, like on this guy. But then when this guy came in on this day, yeah, you'd expect a little more volume. But the one things we're watching now, though, is that we're closing below these key pivot areas here. We got below it this time. They jacked it up on us, came right back in 2 candles later, engulfed this green candle, closing at pretty much the lows of the day, okay? Coming from this high pivot, going down sideways. We always talk about this pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days sideways. So you got some pretty good consolidation. I'd like to see a little bit more, but if this thing starts to fall, that's not bad consolidation. A couple more days, I would like it more to get some real downward pressure. But if this area cracks and we get some follow through on Monday, Tuesday, then we're definitely coming down to the 198 area. This area hasn't hit the 200 MA in a long time. We got to see what the markets are doing. And let me push this down. You got a gap fill right here too. I don't know why that's up there. And then you also have a gap fill down there too at 193. So you got 2 gap fills pretty darn close to each other. So we're going to have to really keep an eye on this area right in here around the 197, 195 and see if we could get down there if this is coming straight down off this pattern. So that's what we're watching for. Bulls, you got to do the same thing the bears did to you. In reverse, got to get above this trend line, get above the moving averages, and then we'll be on our merry way. But if we first get, maybe up to 232, 233, then we start basing sideways, that could be a better chance of this thing going higher. But remember, you're coming off the high. You're consolidating at that low channel. That's not healthy for the stock. But, in fantasy land markets, whatever, anything's healthy for stocks. They just go up. Weekly chart, we did close below that pivot. We were looking at that. We closed below the 750 retrace as well. Let's see what the weekly close next Friday will give us. If the markets sell, we are definitely going into this area. If they dump, then we're going to be at the 187.95. This is a high flyer, guys. I mean, this is just flat out ridiculous. It goes from, $34 in 2016 to $250. I mean, this is like the .com. So anyways, they're high flyers, period. We talked about the 20 MA on the weekly. You hit it. Then we talk about the 50 MA. At the end of the day, on the weekly, I've been telling everybody, wherever the 200 MA is, that's going to be target if this thing starts to fall. Right now, it's at $78.63. Not that it's going to get down there, but I've seen stocks worse than this, guys. Like Skyworks, that was one. It went up, 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 and then they slapped it in the face. But it's Skyworks. They do stuff for Apple. All right, so this one, Nvidia, I've been telling everyone, put your stops in there, especially if you're long. Don't turn a great trade into a turd. And market sell. This one's going to 200, then 187, guys. Markets stay buoyant. Like I said, you got to get above at least 241 and then attack the all-time highs. But yeah, that's some selling pressure right there, guys. So let's see what happens next week, see if we get some follow through, and then we'll take a look at Nvidia. But we did buy some calls on that one. That was great. We got the heck out and done. And we just bought puts, guys. We got puts in the SPY, the IWM, and the Qs. We bought them yesterday, sold them today, all for 100% gains. Well, maybe 95. The IWM was like 120%, 110. I honestly don't look, guys. I know how much money I make. I dump. I move on to the next trade. I don't care. As long as I'm making the same amount, 50%, 60%, done. Out. We had calls for about 5 days. Sold all those yesterday. Flipped it and bought puts on the indexes. And man, thank you, Trump. But we're due. It's not even about the news anymore. It's about we're due for selling. So keep an eye on these markets. All right, so AMD, guys, coming off this high pivot, same thing. Even on the weekly, bearish setup, boom, going down. We retested the lows at $10. We actually went almost to $9. We retested the 943. We talking about that level. And then the levels around 865 and 826, this low pivot. This is the weekly chart. Ultimately, I still think we're getting the 652 or in the 7s. Not too far away on this one, guys. We've been saying that since this pattern. On the daily, we talked about the bearish pattern underneath the moving averages. Look, down, sideways. We talked. This is a bearish go. Go back to 319 video, 318 video. Here's a bearish pattern. Let's see if this thing plays out below the MAs. Brrr, market sell, then it really just starts going. You get the bounce. All the bulls rejoice. They get back in and chase. They're going to shake them out again. This is where they take all the bulls' money. All the bulls' money they made in the last 7 years, they're going to take it all in 6 months. People don't know money management. All in. Oh my gosh, here it goes. I'm going all in. And then it clicks. Oh yeah, here we go. All you bears are getting squeezed, and all of a sudden, brrr, next thing you know, we're at the lows and then retesting the $8 level. So if you are long in this one, just be very careful. We are at the low end of the range, but we did crack this area, this pivot here, and we're back below it again. So be careful in anything in these markets, especially if you're long. Weekly chart on this one, it's pretty much the same thing, guys. You got to get back above the moving averages, get back above this trend line, get back above the 50 MA and make a run for it. You got to have some volume. We have a little bit of a tail, but since this thing closed below these lows here, on the weekly, that's telling me lower prices, guys. Be careful. If this thing starts to go sideways for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks, here's your target, wherever the 200 MA is. Let's go back to the daily real quick. Yeah, daily, gosh, and you're consolidating in this lower end range. Man, you're back below these pivots. That's some technical damage, guys. And then slapping through that area again. I mean, it stopped it here, brought it around, stopped it there. And man, it even went through the 943 area. So remember, this thing keeps knocking on the door. Eventually, it smashes the door down and goes one way. Watch for that. 20 in the 50 MA. If it gets back above, here's your trend line. It needs to recapture. It gets above the trend line, then we'll talk. Gets above there. Next big area of resistance, of course, is that trend line and these double tops, 750, gap fill, blah, blah, blah. Same old stuff, different chart, different day as well. So, yeah, so if it consolidates down in here, that's what we're going to take a look at. Let's see what it gives us next week, especially the Friday close. This weekly close was kind of ugly. We get another close like that below this low of $9, like down in here, even uglier. We will be testing this $7 area. Mark my words, guys. Tesla, guys. We've been talking about this head and shoulder for a long time. Finally played out too perfectly, and he even gave us even brought us to the next level that I've been talking with for months. If it gets into the 245, everyone laughed. Bookie, you're an idiot. Where'd we go? You know what? We were shorting calls here, shorting calls here, shorting calls there. We went long calls here. I sold early again. I'm not a pig. I just take my money and I run. I like to stay consistent. If I get some home runs, great. But as long as I stay consistent here at StockBookie.com, that's all that matters. I'm looking for that one big winner. I'm looking for the 50% winners. You get 50% winners in options, even like shorting calls. Oh my gosh, you do $2,000-$3,000 positions and you get 50% on 50 positions. You're racking up the profits, guys. If you have 5, 6, 7 losers, it doesn't matter anymore. You just had 50 winners, guys. So yeah, we took calls here, we shorted calls here, shorted calls there, made money on this one. We were oh my, it's been a great last couple weeks, guys. It's pretty amazing when you hit some of these technical analysis, you know, looking at levels. I mean, look at this, guys. I've been talking, go back to my videos a month ago. That's the level I've been talking. As a technical trader, I have to step up and look what I got. My gosh. Went to our target on our head and shoulder. Look at it. When you see a head and shoulder on all time frames, that's a good head and shoulder. And there's other things I look at too. That was a textbook. Well, no, it really wasn't. Sorry, but this is exactly what you want to see. Okay, it's to my members. I'll explain this one. How about that? So yeah, I mean, this is right where you buy. Look, it went right there. You couldn't. Oh my gosh! And then boom, boom, boom. So I mean, we bled a little bit of 2 days. It was like, is this thing gonna get going? And they dropped it. It was like, went up, we dumped it. I was like, I'm not sitting in this thing, and if this thing comes right back down, no way. I think we were up 50% or 60%. We pulled it. These actually went up like 300%. Oh well, I got my 50. It's a story of my life, guys. I get in these great trades, they go. But for me, you know, I take decent sized positions, and I'm not giving up gains. You know, I get a couple losers here and there. Guess what? This just made up for that. I had a Facebook trade though, guys, 150%. I had those puts we put on for all of them around 100. The IWM was a little bit more, 100% in one day. What we bought yesterday. So, but anyways, this one's right back in the resistance here, right where the breakdown is. The 305.79, that's like a brick wall, guys. So watch for a consolidation sideways on this. Next step, you got to get above all this, but I think what's going to happen now, you're just going to do nothing, and then probably start to fade going into earnings, because people aren't really sure what's going on with all the bad news that was coming right here. So I would expect a little fade job here, but we'll have to see what happens going into earnings. I think earnings, gosh, probably 4 weeks on this one or so. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to start looking at what's coming up over the weekend. So now what we're looking for, especially if you're bullish, just sideways consolidation for the next pop. If it goes into earnings right about in this area, my guess is as good as everyone else's. No idea. If it pops, though, we will be going short. If it drops, then we're going to look for support areas for the next pop. So again, though, look at that head and shoulder pattern played out perfectly, guys. So there's some traders out there saying that this was the worst call I ever had. I mean, really? All right, let's look at the weekly. Excuse me. Same thing, you see it on there. Look at that. So once we couldn't get above that trend line, came right back in, head and shoulder from a channel pattern. Oh my gosh. And down sideways, that's a bearish pattern. Inside bar, inside a head and shoulder pattern, and then another key trend line that boom, boom, couldn't get through. When it came back down, it was like, holy crap. This is the, you know, fifth hit of this line. If this head and shoulder plan, I'm hyped up right now, guys. Look at it. I mean, it played. Go back to my videos. You can see exactly what I said. And there were some people actually trying to go long here. Unbelievable. It just blows my mind. Long, as this thing's flushing. You're holding on to that? Wow. That's pretty amazing how you can withstand that loss. So, and it's probably no money management, probably nothing, you know. So that's Tesla, guys, right now. Let's see what it gives us. Weekly close, we did get back above these pivots here, so it's not bad. Let's see if it chops around. Remember, coming off this high pivot, we're down here on the weekly. Let's see if we click over, come here, we start consolidating in this lower range, we will be setting up for lower prices. 200, 180, here we come. Daily chart, same thing, right back into this. We closed above that 295 area. So it's not terrible overall, but my gosh, look at that pattern. Can ask for it. I mean, technically, that's like a dream. This is the only thing I don't like, that it came down here and it breached this low, but it was a tail candle. So I'd rather not have that, but it still played out perfectly. You couldn't ask for a better head and shoulder. Let's go to MU. So MU daily chart, 79 million, volume was okay, $1.38 down. So really didn't have a bloodbath today. 2.77%, not too bad. A little bit down after hours, but right to the 618, guys. It was consolidating. We talked about this, coming from a high pivot, consolidation. That could lead us to lower prices. I'd rather see a couple more days, a week of consolidation than the fall. This is a little bit premature, so we could probably get a bounce going up. Let's take this fib. I want to see what a short-term Fibonacci would be from here. So from there, wait a second here. Okay. So 250. So it did, yeah, it went right to the 382. Well, that's coming with the new pivot, but that's an old 382. Pulls it back. Yeah, so this one here, guys, we have a price target right around 40 bucks on this one. If it makes it there, maybe. We'll be out of our short before that time. We actually covered a half our short. Went up on us a little bit, came right back in. So we're right back in the money again on the second half. We're hoping for about, maybe a gap fill around 44, 45 if we get there. There's a nice little pivot here too around the 46, 32 area as well. But right now we're back below the MAs, which is a good sign for the bears. And you want to see, just let this thing go sideways again. Let the 20 MA curl into price, and then boom, we'll be down to 40 bucks. Maybe lower too. The market stump, we could hit this 37.55. We get down there, maybe a buyer. Maybe. Let's go to the weekly. Let's see if there's any more support on the weekly. 38.73, I got big support. Gosh, there's a gap fill. 40.33 or so. Probably no, a little higher, about 40.50. Close enough for government work, guys. Yeah, right about there. So about, yeah, say 40 bucks. Yeah, it's good support. But man, look at that weekly chart, guys. Boom, engulfing. And then two more engulfed this one, and it closed below. Wow. So always the 20 MA will be the target. That's your first one, which is 46.43. It cracks that. I'm telling you, it's going to go 44 right in here. And then next area will be 40. And then I think we could retest the double bottom if the markets are dumping. So watch for this one with MU. If you're long, you should have been out of this a little while back. And now it's a $50 stock again. When it broke out, yeah, it looked good. Oh, it was exciting. Markets start to sell. I don't care what stock it is, guys. It's going down. So MU is still okay on the weekly, still above the MAs. Let's see what it gives us next week on the weekly close. Daily's a little bit more beat down, but you're coming in some big areas where we had a retrace and then the pop. So this is going to be really good support here. Real good support down here at the 45.50 area. Then, of course, the 200 MA right around 40.66. And then double bottom here right at, let's see, 37.55. So right now, guys, looking weak. Markets stayed green. This should move up. Markets keep bleeding. This will be a $40 stock. All right. So bulls, you got to get back above the MAs, get above the 750, and keep going. Got a couple gaps to fill up here. This pivot high around the 53.49 will be good resistance, and there's great resistance right here too at the 50. So if we confirm below that, if we get down here, we might hold this one, go sideways, and then boom, right back down. But we'll see. This isn't a bad bounce area here. But I still like this one a little bit better. But you still have the 618 coming down. So watch out for this one, especially if you're long. Yet, you know, again, just like the rest of them, don't turn a great trade into a turd and then just, well, I got in at 25 and I sold at 27. I still made money. No, you could have sold at 63. Markets don't go up forever. And this one could retrace. Again, earnings coming up, 50-50 shot. Could just retrace back up to 63, or it might bomb back down to, you know, 37.50 or whatever that is. So, and if it really starts rumbling, you got a big gap down here, 34, and then you got another big gap down here, 27.95. So, got a lot of big areas down there. So, just keep an eye on what's going on in the overall market. Everything's a market trade, guys. And let's see what happens in these next week's action. Then you're going into Options X, which is really going to be interesting. So, all right. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm hoping I'm helping some of you guys out there. Check out my website, guys. I got a bunch of these trades on there. Watch for my new video coming out where we took all these call positions and then we shifted them and bought puts and just, wow, flipped them, went long, boom, done. And flipped them, went short, done. So exciting times here, guys. It's been great. I'm a little bit wired up, so again, thanks for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe down in here in the right-hand corner. And guys, God bless. Have a great weekend. See you on the charts.